Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we have another preview for you, and this is Curiosity. This is designed by Andrew X. Hunter, and it is going to be published by Pledis Games.
You guys hit that subscribe button if you haven't had a chance to yet, and the notification bell. We would appreciate it. All right, so what killed the cat?
Curiosity! I knew that one.
Curiosity killed the cat, and that is what we are playing today. This game is all about these anthropomorphic cats going on this adventure. It's got all these cat puns kind of throughout it, but that doesn't mean it's a silly game. Sometimes when you have games with puns in it, it's like a silly game. This is not. This is not a silly game, but it has fun puns in it because I like puns. So that's why I'm talking about it. Enough of that. Let me show you what it looks like. All right, here's our setup for Curiosity. All right, so we've got all our different characters here. Each player is going to choose one of these, and it's going to give us a special ability to work with, as well as all these different cards that are going to go into our deck. Everybody's kind of good at some things and bad at other things. So we're going to start with the mage. It's going to tell us what our deck's going to be. Kind of already pre-constructed it. Has all these different symbols in it. We're going to shuffle that up, and that's going to be our deck for the game. All right, so we've also got a guardian out here. Each time you play, you're going to face 5 guardians. They're going to be divided up into 3 different encounters. So the first time, you're just going to face one guy by himself. For the second encounter, there's going to be 2 of the guardians, and the last time there's going to be 2 more of the guardians. And sometimes if you're playing with one of the scenarios in the campaign, one of them will be especially tough. They're going to have a few things on these cards. They're going to have the special ability of their own. They're also going to say how much damage they're going to do to us, how much loot we're going to get if we defeat them, what it's going to take to defeat them, and then also how many fear cards are going to get on top of them. So this one says 3. So we're going to put 3 fear cards on top of them. We have to get through all of those and before we can actually defeat the actual main guardian itself. We also have some initiative cards. So every player is going to get one of these as well as every guardian. So if we're playing a 2-player game, plus there's 1 guardian out there, we would shuffle up the 1, 2, and the 3, and we'd divvy them out, and basically that would determine what the turn order is for that encounter. We've got a little player area that tells us what all our different abilities are on a turn, all the different things we can do. We also are going to start the game with 1 ability cube. We have to spend those in order to use the ability that's on our card. We're going to be able to gain more of those throughout the game through the purchasing phases and all that kind of stuff. We also have some trophies that we're going to try to earn as well. This is catnip. This is kind of the bad part of the game. You do not want catnip. However, every single time you shuffle your deck, or there's also a loot deck that's going to get shuffled, every time you shuffle it, you have to add in a new catnip card. Those are bad news. You don't want them, and they eat up a spot in your hand. Alright, so we're going to shuffle our deck to start the game off. We're going to draw 4 cards. That's kind of the starting hand limit. It might go up later on as you get through the kind of the campaigns and stuff, but for now we're looking at a 4-card hand. What we can do is we can play some cards, try to defeat that fear if we have enough. In this case we don't, but we have some greens here that might set us up. So there is an assist pool. We can actually add these to the assist pool. Now any player can pull from that, so that way maybe the next player has a red, they're able to use that red card along with our 2 greens that we put out in the assist pool to be able to overcome that fear. Everything else is going to go into our discard pile over here. We're going to draw 4 more cards to finish our turn. Once again, once you run out of cards you need to kind of pull from your discard pile, you have to add in one of the catnips. When it is the Guardian's turn, what they're going to do is they're going to do their special ability. This one says, the player that plays immediately after this Guardian cannot play green cards, these arrow cards, which, hopefully, we obviously didn't do it for real, but that'd be bad news. We want to go before that player so that way we can get our green arrows so someone else can kind of finish off those cards. Also, we have our loot deck over here. Whenever it's their turn, they're going to attack it. They're going to discard cards off the top of it, based off of that number. That isn't so bad, really, except for, once again, every time this deck needs to be shuffled, you have to add more catnip into it. And that is one of the lose conditions. We need to accomplish, or get through all 5 of the Guardians and all the fear cards that are on them before we run out of catnip. If we ever need to put a catnip into a deck and there's no catnip there, we lose the game. However, if we're able to overcome all that fear and all those different Guardians, we're going to win the game. After completing an encounter, such as this fluttering menace here, we actually get a chance to discard some loot cards in order to buy some upgrades to our deck. Let's say, our guy doesn't have any red cards, but we know we're going to need some red cards coming up. You can actually spend some of your loot that you've gained in order to buy more of these cards. They're all just 1 symbol for now, But basically what's going to happen is, once you feel comfortable playing the game with all these different one symbols, then you want to dive into the campaign. Basically, each one of the numbered sessions is on the campaign. You're going to open it up. You're going to read a little bit of a plot there about the different, the different scenario that you're in. It's also going to give you some, bad guy to face, or some different special rules that you're going to have to use while that bad guy is in play. And if you complete it, you're going to get some extra benefits as well. Maybe unlock a new character. Maybe you get to add some ferocity, which are special cards that you can add in. There's also double symboled gems. There's double symboled attack cards. There's even triple ones as well. Triple gems and triple attack cards, triple symbol cards. So there's a whole lot you want to get to. The more campaign missions you go through, the more you're able to unlock and then play with the rest of the time. This is a full cooperative game, so you're working together. You got that assist pool. You want to use that as much as possible, so that way you can help each other out, getting enough symbols to overcome all those different fears. There are ways to get rid of some of those catnips. You can either, if one is in your hand, by the way, you can't discard it. It has to stay in your hand. When you only have a 4-card hand, you have 2 catnips in your hand. Boy, you're really handicapped there. So if you have a gem in your hand, you can discard the gem and the catnip away, which is really nice. Also, you can spend 3 of any symbol, 3 of a kind of any symbol, in order to heal off one of those catnips. So you want to work together to heal those off as well. Once again, you want to get through all those guardians before you run out of catnip. If you're able to do that, you are considered the winners, and you go into the next mission.
This kind of gave me similar feels to Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle, the deck builder. Not that it plays the same, but that you have to play the books, book 1, book 2, and then you have to defeat the person before you can get access to the stuff that's happening in the next book. So this has a campaign mode where you have to play, and then once you defeat it, you get access to things that you then just have. And so it kind of reminded me of that you're unlocking stuff that you get to just kind of like have forever to play with now.
Yeah, and there are, as it is right now, there's 2 styles of play. This is on Kickstarter. There's going to be, so there might be more styles of play after that Kickstarter is done. But as it is right now, there's 2 styles of play. There's an arcade mode and the campaign mode, like Bethany mentioned. And in that campaign mode, you are going through and you are unlocking all these different things. The more campaigns you play, you unlock the abilities of these different ferocity cards. You have these different, bigger and bigger cards that have more and more symbols on them to achieve your, fight bigger and badder villains. As they come up. But at the same time, let's say you are playing a campaign in most games, and somebody else comes over and hey, can I play that game? And you're like, well, no, I'm in the middle of a campaign of it. We can't really reset everything. In this case, it's not true at all. You have a little, score sheet thing. You have to mark down where you're at the end of each, end of the game or the end of your session, so that way you're ready to go for the next time. However, it's completely resettable. If you play the arcade game, let's say we're playing a campaign, we're in the middle of it, we're on session 4 or whatever, but our friends like Matt and Sarah come over, they want to play Curiosity. Well, what you're able to do is you are able to play the arcade game with whatever components you have unlocked up to that point. Yeah. So the things that are unlocked that you haven't unlocked in the campaign yet, you obviously can't use yet. But it's it's still nice. You can still play that game as an arcade mode, and then later on we can go back and reset to our campaign super easily using that little.
Because we marked it.
Because we marked it all down.
This game has a really nice self-timer method. So there's these catnip cards, and they just eat up your hand, right? So every time anything has to be shuffled, whether it's your deck, another player's deck, or the loot cards, you have to add a catnip. There's other things that could add catnip as well, but you have to do that every single time. And the catnip is finite, right? It eventually runs out. And so when it runs out, then you've lost the game. And I really like games that can do like bookkeeping for you, so you don't have to keep track of that. And it does that. It keeps track of it, by itself by shoving these out in all the players' decks. So it kind of has that timer for you that you as a player don't really have to keep track of. So I really like that the game did that for you.
You guys, like I mentioned, there's so many little funny little cat puns and just funny little things all throughout the campaign. It's all these little plot cards, and they have little funny things mixed in. But ultimately, your downfall is what? Catnip. Yeah. You're distracted by this catnip. And then there's also, what you're trying to prevent through all this is the cataclysm.
Cataclysm! Ladybug and Cat Noir.
Yeah.
Cataclysm. He does that thing.
Well, you're not trying to prevent that. You're trying to prevent like a different cataclysm.
And then he breaks anything he wants. It gets destroyed. Speaking of Cat Noir, side note, tangent, we're going somewhere. We'll come back, I promise.
You're going somewhere. I'm staying over here.
You're going to come with me. So, I remember a couple years ago at Gen Con, there was this couple dressed up as Ladybug and Cat Noir, and, like, my daughter loved it. So thank you, all you cosplayers out there who play as characters that my kids know, because, like, it makes their day. It seriously does. They get so excited. Okay, now we're back.
Okay, so yeah, so you're trying to prevent this cataclysm, but you also can go catatonic, you know, there's all these different things like that. I love the way that works into the theme, and all these different anthropomorphic cats. I thought that they did a really good job of kind of creating this little world with all these dungeon crawls, you know, scenario with all these cats and cat puns. I enjoyed that quite a bit.
So this is the demo version, so we are only able to get to 3 of the campaigns. So I'm imagining that the Kickstarter is obviously going to have a lot more than that because this is just the demo version. But if any of this sounds interesting to you, I would definitely check this out. It should be coming to Kickstarter in mid-October.
All right, you guys, be sure to check out Curiosity. If you want to hear more from us, you can subscribe to us here. We are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. You can find us on Facebook under that same name. You can also find us on Twitter. We are at Ryan and Bethany 1, and you can always reach out to us there. Bethany's always putting cool photos on Instagram. We are at Ryan and Bethany, so be sure to check all that out. All right, you guys, until next time, we will see you later.
Bye.